Hey everyone, welcome back to Agani Academy English podcast. We are here to help you speak better English at work, in life, and, everywhere in between. I'm Amanda, and with me today is Eric.
What's up, friends? So glad to be back. Today's topic, I think, is just so useful, especially if you work with international teams or you're just trying to improve your business English.
Yep, we're talking about how to sound professional and fluent at work. Really step up that corporate communication.
So, if you've ever found yourself thinking, I don't know how to speak formally in a meeting, or maybe what's the right way to politely disagree without causing a conflict, or even how do I just sound more natural and confident when I'm talking to my boss or colleagues?
Yeah, that happens to so many of us for sure. It's a common hurdle when you're trying to navigate professional settings in a second language. But hey, that's why we're here, right? We've definitely got you covered with some really practical, useful phrases today. This is going to be a good one, guys. Okay, Eric, so first up, let's dive into one of my absolute favorite workplace phrases. And that is, let's circle back on that.
Oh, yes, that's a classic for sure. So it basically means, let's talk about it later, or let's return to that topic at another time. It's really polite.
Exactly. It's a super smooth way to, acknowledge something without getting distracted in a meeting. For example, you could say, "That's a really good point, but let's circle back on that after the client call." Okay?
Yeah, that sounds so smooth, so polite, and confident. You're in control of the conversation, but you're also showing respect for the other person's input. It's just very effective for managing time and keeping things focused. Okay, so next up, I use this one a lot, and it's super useful. Just to clarify.
Oh, that's such a good one, Eric. It's a brilliant way to make sure you understood something correctly, without sounding rude or like you're accusing someone of not explaining themselves well.
Right, exactly. It really helps to ensure accuracy and prevent any misunderstandings in professional communication, especially. So, for instance, you could say, just to clarify, we're sending the report before noon, right?
Yeah, that keeps things so professional and, just really clear. No room for error there. Okay, Eric, so moving on to our third phrase. And this one I think is really, really important for showing teamwork and just good professional manners, really. It's I appreciate your input.
Oh, yes. I love this one. It's a really professional and, polite way to say thanks for your idea, even if you don't necessarily fully agree with it or, you're not going to use it. It really keeps a respectful and collaborative environment, which is huge in any workplace.
Exactly. It's about acknowledging the effort and the thought someone put in. So, for example, you could say something like, "I appreciate your input on the new marketing strategy, and we'll definitely take it into consideration as we move forward."
Yeah, that's perfect. It shows you're listening, you're respectful of their contribution, and you're valuing their perspective, even if the team decides to go a different way. It's just really good for team morale, I think.
Okay, Eric, this one's super popular in meetings, right? It's, "Can we take this offline?"
Yes, this is one of my favorites too. It just means let's stop talking about this right now and let's discuss it privately later. Maybe in a separate email or a one-on-one meeting.
Exactly. It's like a really smooth way to redirect a conversation that's maybe getting a little too detailed for the whole group or, it's not relevant to everyone. It helps maintain meeting efficiency and keeps everyone focused on the main agenda.
Yeah, exactly. So you could say something like, that's an important detail, but let's take it offline and stay on track with the agenda for today's meeting.
See, that sounds so professional, so efficient. It's like, we value what you're saying, but, not right now for this group. It's a really smart phrase to have in your toolkit. Okay, speaking of useful phrases, this next one, It sounds a little bit strange at first, I think, for new learners, but it is super, super common in the workplace. Let's touch base. Very clear. It prevents people from wondering if you're actually going to do something. You just, say, I'll follow up, and it's understood. Now, speaking of getting things done and, being accountable, sometimes you just need to have a quick chat with someone, right? But you don't want to just burst in or interrupt them. So here's one for starting a polite conversation at work. Do you have a moment?
Oh, yes. That's perfect, Amanda. It's not too pushy, it shows that you respect her time, which is just so important in a professional setting. You're giving them the option to say yes or no, really.
Exactly. It's like, hey, I have something I want to talk about, but I'm checking if you're available right now. It's super respectful, and it just sets a really good tone for the conversation, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally. It's great for those quick discussions that don't need a whole scheduled meeting. Like you could just say, hey, Amanda, do you have a moment to go over this email together? Or do you have a moment to discuss the meeting agenda for tomorrow? It's just, so simple, but so effective.
Yeah, it's a nice way, as you said, very professional. It just avoids making them feel like they're being pulled away from something important. It's a really polite way to begin.
And finally, for our 8th phrase, this is one you'll definitely see in emails a lot, especially in more formal or business communication. As per our conversation.
Oh, yes. That's such a classic, Eric. It literally just means, according to what we discussed or as we talked about. It's a really concise way to reference something without having to re-explain everything.
Exactly. It's super efficient, especially when you're following up on something that was talked about in a meeting or a call. So you might say, as per our conversation, I'll update the file and send it by Friday. It just sets the context really quickly.
Yeah, it just sounds, very fluent, very business ready. It adds a layer of professionalism and also clarity because you're immediately reminding the recipient of a previous agreement or discussion. It's really, really useful.
All right, so let's just quickly recap those 8 super professional phrases that you can really start using today to sound more fluent and confident at work.
Yeah, definitely. So first up, we had let's circle back on that, which, remember, just means, let's talk about it later.
And then just to clarify, which is basically, let me just make sure I understand what you're saying.
Next was I appreciate your input, a nice way to say thank you for your idea, even if you don't totally agree.
Following that, we had, can we take this offline? Meaning, let's talk about this later, not right now in this big meeting.
Then there was let's touch base, which just means let's connect or talk soon. Simple, right?
And of course, I'll follow up with you. That means I'll check in with you later or I'll send more info soon.
Almost there. Do you have a moment? Is just a polite way to ask, can we talk for a second?
And finally, the one for your emails. As per our conversation, basically according to what we said or discussed.
That's a lot of useful stuff, honestly. So here's your challenge, friends. We want you to try using 3 of these phrases in sentences. Just, pick any 3.
Yeah, exactly. And then write your sentences in the comments below. We'll definitely check them out. And who knows, you might just get a shout out in our very next episode. We love seeing your progress. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Agani Academy English. Thank you so much for, tuning in and listening today.
Yeah, really appreciate you all being here. And hey, if you really want to sound more fluent and professional at work, definitely start trying to use these phrases right away. It'll make a huge difference.
Absolutely. And if you, liked today's episode and found it helpful, please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and share it with a friend or a coworker who's, also learning English.
Yeah, spread the word. You've totally got this. Just keep learning, keep growing, and stay confident out there. All right, we'll catch you next time.